It was the most powerful experience I'd had in a long time. An Akashic Record reading. I'd been hearing about it, but I wasn't sure about it. You know, something else learned to new, because I felt like that all those years ago when I started Reiki, and then I got into meditation, and then I started tapping, and then of course my counseling work. And I thought, oh no, not another thing. Plus, even though I'd been working with Reiki and energy and going into that higher dimension for quite a few years, this felt something even out of what I'm used to. I'm still a pragmatist. I still like logic at times. So when this was suggested to me by a good friend of mine, who then became my coach for this experience, something went, nudge, do this. And am I glad, because I wouldn't be sitting here today doing what I'm doing, not only for my clients, but also for myself. Having the Akashic reading really, at that particular time for me, was actually profound. It actually created a fundamental change in me. And I'm going to share my story, how I got there. So I'll go back a bit. Last year, I think like with a lot of us, was very, very challenging. It triggered me into anxiety, which is a residue of the PTSD I've been experiencing for 12 years since a car accident. I felt so lost and confused. Nothing I was doing seemed to be working, not only in my personal life, because I had to get through all the pain, the lawyers, all that sort of experience, but also in my business. I had some amazing coaches. I had good experiences, but I just wasn't shifting. Something just didn't feel right. And what I wanted specific from her was, and remember, I wasn't going to even get a coach. So that was the big thing. I was going to give myself the 6 months of absolutely doing nothing to really come back within and work out, who am I, what do I want, what is it all about, how do I want to serve, who's going to be my niche market, and what do I need to do from here. So when this came, it like hit me right here. Some people can be here, also it can be in your gut. And how it came about was that she had put out a request in a closed Facebook group that we're both in, that she wanted some market research. She wanted women in business, experienced in business, with intuition. And I thought, why not? Why wouldn't I help her out? Also, I might gain something from that. Well, I did, but not what I was expecting. So we made our time and we got talking, and I just started talking. Listen, I don't understand who I'm meant to be a service of. I've tried different things. I was looking at women being confident, then I was looking at people who'd gone through trauma like myself, PTSD. Then it was about also, I am creating a movement called Grand Divide for women going into menopause. Because with all these things, we'll feel lost. With all these things, we can get stuck. And with all these things, we put on a persona and a front. But somewhere within, we are still struggling. We are still going home, perhaps feeling lonely, disconnected. That is how I was feeling, and I wanted to change that. And I wanted to therefore support other women, because that's what I was going through, and I'd had a lot of growth in that space. So she then said to me, I'm not meant to talk about it in this particular market research. I'll talk to you about it later. I said, no, tell me now. She said, well, look, I have a package, a Kickstarter package, where I can support you with that and going into your Akashic Records. I was like, what's this all about? But something said to me, the big nudge came to me. It was a great reminder of reconnecting with my intuition that I'd lost sight of for all those years. Because when you are in, well, for me it was when I was in PTSD and I was in pain and I was all over the place. As my older brother said to me, all your biorhythms are just shot. There's nothing there. And it's right. I felt like spaghetti. So I had not had any connection with my intuition for quite some time. I went, yes. And here I am today sharing this story with you. So when we got into it, you have to ask for permission. She asked me for my permission. I said yes. And in she went, and the download just was visceral. I tingled from the top of my head to the tips of my toes, all through. It was like I'd come home. It was like this huge knowing had happened. And I was like, yes, why hadn't I thought of that? And what I also realized was I only meant to look at that in my business, I was also meant to look at the healing in myself, because it never occurred to me that in my late 50s that I had even grieved about not having had children. It was unplanned, it just didn't happen, but it was something I was striving for, something I wanted to do, something I just desperately wanted to have. And it never happened, but I never thought to grieve. No one thought to tell me to grieve. It just didn't happen. I just had a big cry when I was told I could no longer have children, and I just carried on with life. But now looking back, I realized everything I did was striving, doing, replacing how I felt about my childhood experiences, which were really hard, then not being a mother. So I poured everything into my business, yet something was still missing, and here it was. So when we finished it, I had 2 weeks with her of really intense work, which I really, really appreciated, one-on-one, because what happens there is you really go into who you are, what you're meant to be, what you're meant to release, and that is what the Akashic Records do for you. If you don't know about the Akashic Records, I recommend you look at the videos where I have talked about what the Akashic Records are and what the benefits are. That'll give you more of an idea of what I've experienced and what you can also experience, and why I get so excited when I work with clients, because it just takes you to this whole new realm, a whole new out there, and you just know. Now, when you go into Akashic Records, and what she did with me was you create a conversation. You ask, you explore, you heal, you look at, you delve into it deeper and deeper. Does it feel right for you? And that is what I found so powerfully healing. And suddenly I had focus. Now, what I've been finding interesting since that's been happening, yes, I want to create a voice for women without children, unplanned. I've started a playlist with different topics with a friend of mine, because she's also been a woman without children, but hers was through pregnancy loss, mine was unplanned. Because it's really, really important that we start talking about emotions we don't talk about. We start sharing things, even if it's just with close friends. It doesn't have to be on that global basis. But what I found, that when I started releasing myself, I began to understand why I was holding myself back in my business, what I was still concerned about, what I felt I was an imposter. I didn't know if I could serve, for example, mothers. But I always remember Brené Brown saying, which was really important, empathy. Empathy is about being there with the emotions. We've all experienced emotions, even though we haven't experienced the story. You might have had something similar, but it's not your story. Your beliefs are not in there. So that's what I've been unpacking for this whole time for myself and with clients. And you get this most incredible opening where you just feel, here I am, as I keep mentioning. And I know I'm going to keep talking about that because that's been the power behind this. So what I do now is myself, that's the other thing before I go on to that. My coach recommended I read Linda Howe's book. That has been really amazing for me. What it's shown me is that I'd already been doing a lot of this work, as I said, that I'd lost sight of through my Reiki 1 and 2, which is long distance Reiki, and then being a master. And really what this did was, and it's really, I feel so excited because I feel like I've opened up into this space again. It's just taking you into that 5th dimension. It's taking you into everything that you've experienced all your life, past lives, now, future possibilities. You're tuning into that. You're clearing and healing, getting understanding, getting insights. And what I love about this is, like with Reiki, it's always pure. It is there. Whatever comes through is there. But also what I find is that take what you want and leave the rest, because sometimes it might not fit your values now. It might be that you want to explore that. It might be that it just doesn't sit with you. And that is what I love about this. You explore, you learn, you find out. And what you start doing is stepping into this whole different sense of yourself. You start to feel confident. I know for me now, I get excited every day about getting up. I get excited about presenting what I'm doing. I get excited working with clients. And what you do then, when you get that excitement, you start becoming aware of your purpose. You put out a whole different light, your whole body and your energy, you open up. You step, into the unknown without fear, because you trust what's going to happen for you, because this is what's come through for you. I know, as I said, I've been developing this. I'm still going to have a voice for women without children, but as we talked about it and we developed it more, I realized I want to work with women who are feeling still stuck in their business, stuck in their lives, but also have been through a fundamental life's experience. You've come through and you just can't quite get that last little bit, because that's what's been happening for me. I'd cleared a lot of it, and that's why I also did my diploma in counselling, because I wanted to be there to support, because sometimes you just need someone who believes you, who witnesses you, who sits there without judgment. Because sometimes it's the first time you've ever expressed exactly how you feel. There's such power in that. So before I start my readings, what I do, and you can see a little bit here, I set up a ritual. I call myself home, so I put my hand on my heart. And this is something you might like to even just do now. Just put your hand on your heart, just say your name. I'm Chantal, I'm here and I'm present. That's the most beautiful way of bringing you into the moment. Then what I do is you create a prayer. Now you can do, getting into the Akashic Records, you can do it in different ways. So this is what I've been learning. There's the pathway prayer that Linda Howe has. I've found other prayers, but what I'm doing is I'm creating my own prayer, which I love. Then I use my Reiki 2 symbols and I just open myself up to receiving whatever I need to receive. And it's really powerful. Then I send it to my clients as verbal, as a message, because sometimes people need to hear it, or as written. And then I follow up with them, if they wish, with a second session, because it's all very well to get this information, you have those aha moments. Then what? What do you do with it? I've had that happen so many times. I used to go to psychics, or you go to tarot readers, or you go to spiritualists, and it's been amazing. But then what? What do you do with that? And that's where that extra session or sessions come in to support you in that. So what I'm loving is, and this is when you know you're on purpose, is when you see your clients have such an amazing reaction. Now, the reaction can be relief, it can be joy, it can be tears, it can be excitement, it can be numb, it can be, oh, I don't get this. But we take the time to drop into it. And as I said, it's the most powerful reminder that I'm in connection with my purpose. And that is what I want for you, is to have connection with your purpose. You might not know it yet. It might develop and evolve like mine did, and that is the gift that you're giving yourself, that time and space to allow yourself to feel, to know, to learn, to understand. Oh, it was like such a bolt of lightning. And as you can see, I'm still excited all this time later. So anyhow, I just hope hope my story about my Akashic reading has guided you in the right direction. Go back and, if you wish to, look at the other ones about Akashic Record readings, about the benefits of it, because it'll really help you understand what it's all about. If you want to have access to more details, go to there in the description box of this video. And look, if you like this video, like it. It's part of, as I said, a video series. If you resonated, let me know, put any comments, ask any questions. I will definitely get back to you, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn more about how to become confident, how to use meditation, tapping, oracle cards, rituals, journaling, how to bring this all into your life so you have something to support you to be the best version of yourself, to be the woman who you want to be. Because that's what life is all about, is stepping into the light and being the beautiful woman that you're meant to be.